The images you see here, you might think are from a nobody, a 17-year-old girl documenting her everyday life in Japan. But what if I told you? This photographer not only single-handedly changed how women were seen in Japan, but also challenged photography itself, whilst also beginning a movement that is still seen today. This is Hiromix. Japan, as a country, has always had a deep photographic history after the technology was imported on a Dutch ship during the Edo period. In the 20th century, the country had shifted towards photojournalism, where, quote, the era of photojournalism was coined. This term was pioneered by two photographers, Yonosuke Natori and Ken Domon. Given this history, photography was always seen as a male activity, but after the war, both amateur, expert, and seasoned photographers had slowly made their subjects women, which had resulted in youth and femininity being directly linked to what men expected. And due to this, female photographers struggled to find the same visibility or legitimacy as their male counterparts. This, in addition with the gatekeeping done by publications and galleries, had resulted with women's photographic voices and visions being shoved and locked out of the space, unexposed for decades. Right around Japan's economic boom was around the same time we saw photography become more and more accessible, where the abundance of point-and-shoot cameras had resulted in the medium becoming more and more easily accessible by the general public, where photos were not restricted to a fancy gallery or museum, but instead to the homes of the working class, and particularly students. However, access does not mean cultural shift, but it's what people do with this newly found freedom. And one girl decided to take her point-and-shoot and began to challenge the medium itself while changing the idea of what a woman is. And that girl was Hiromi Toshikawa, better known as Hiromix. Hiromix is a Japanese photographer and artist born in 1976 in Suganami Ward, Tokyo. She was nominated for Canon's 11th New Cosmos Photography for a series of photographs called 17 Girl Days. In this collection, she depicted a life from a teenage perspective. Her images felt real rather than faked. Images frozen in time, throwing out every single conventional rule of photography that we lock ourselves in like the rule of thirds. And, at just 19, 17 Girl Days, a collection that broke every traditional convention of photography, had won the grand prize, and broke the standard convention of photography for the foreseeable future. Within the first year of her New Cosmos win, she published her first photo book, Girls Blue, depicting everyday life like friends relaxing, street scenes, pets, and self-portraits. Then, a year later, she published Japanese Beauty and Hikari. She was deeply embedded in the alternative/youth scene at the time. Stylistically, she didn't stick to the traditional photography style at the time. Soon, she started to work for magazines and publishers, utilizing her background as being a part of a band to shoot for musicians. This wave of female artists like Hiromix, Yurei Nagashima, and Mika Ninagawa flipped what a woman was, something that the generation before found repulsive, unserious, and avoid publishing at all. It was so bad that Kotaro Aizawa, a critic during the same time as Hiromix's Cosmos win, labeled this style of photography Okanoko Sashin, in which Nagashima fully rejects, calling it patronizing, and Hiromix never identifying with the term at all. Her style is still seen today. You or your friends might have shot a selfie or a picture that freezes everyday life, without fully knowing where that style came from. Browse on a typical teenage girl or boy's Instagram, and it is clear that her style still lives on even if the person behind the camera doesn't know.